Welcome back to K-Astrology, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Kaylin, and today I'm going to be doing your February 2021 horoscope. I also do monthly tarot predictions for all 12 zodiac signs, along with pick a card readings. If you'd like to see more content from me, please subscribe to K-Astrology. Now, I'm going to leave timestamps in the description box below, so please feel free to jump straight to your sign. For those of you who are sticking around, I'm going to quickly run through your sun, moon, and rising sign horoscopes and how they differ, okay? Your rising sign, otherwise known as your ascendant sign, will always be the most overall accurate horoscope for you. It does not matter how much you identify with that rising sign, okay? You could be an Aries rising, but you're a Cancer sun and you feel more like a Cancer. That's fine. The Aries rising horoscope will be the most accurate for you. Now, with your sun horoscope, this will pertain to your conscious will and your career and any goals and ambitions that you have. Your moon sign will be in relation to, your moon sign horoscope will be in relation to all relationships in your life, your emotional state, and your living circumstances. As I said, the rising sign will be the most accurate and will encompass all of those aforementioned things. Anyway, guys, thanks for sticking around for this intro. You can now head to your timestamp in the description box below. Hi Leo, Sun, Moon and Risings. Welcome to your February 2021 horoscope. The month starts off with Mercury being retrograde in Aquarius in your 7th house. It will remain retrograde for the first 3 weeks of February, and anytime we have Mercury retrograde anywhere in the chart, we start redoing things, rethinking, reevaluating, restructuring. Anything with a re in front of it can be applied to the nature of that house. Now, given that your 7th house relates to relationships of all kinds, whether that's a serious relationship with your significant other, your marriage, okay, your spouse, it could be a business partnership, one-on-one clients, or even a very close friendship. So you may be re-evaluating whether this relationship is serving you, okay? You could be restructuring the terms of those relationships, whether that is, redoing contracts with a business partnership. Maybe in your, before getting married, you were talking about doing a prenup and then you tabled it, and now you're bringing that back onto the table and discussing the terms of this prenuptial agreement. For some of you, you could simply be renewing your wedding vows. Now, on a different level, Mercury retrograde can always bring things back to be looked at in finer detail, and that certainly includes past relationships across the board. So you may hear from an ex-spouse, an ex-significant other, an ex-business partner, someone that you used to be really close friends with. You may have had a falling out and now they're knocking on your door. Conversely, this could actually be you making that move to initiate discussions with those aforementioned individuals. And there's certainly a chance to give a relationship a second chance or even a third chance, okay? This is about redoing things or gaining closure with that relationship. Now, on a totally different level, Mercury rules documents of all kinds. So if you are waiting for documentation from any kind of business partnership, okay, it might be a new one that you have formed, but you haven't had the documents arrive, or maybe you haven't sent them off. On a totally different level, if you are separating from a spouse, perhaps you are waiting on documentations pertaining to certain court cases, you can definitely expect delays in this department. And I'll talk a little bit later in the video about when you're likely to receive said documentation. Now, lastly, with Mercury being retrograde, existing relationships can come to a close, whether that is with a marriage partner, significant other, business partner, a one-on-one client relationship, or even a friendship. Mercury retrograde can definitely see the end of relationships of all kinds, as I said. Now, on the 2nd of February, Venus will enter your 7th house of relationships. Okay, so with Venus being in Aquarius, this is actually supporting energy for your marriage, for your partnership with a loved one or with a business partnership. And with Venus here, it can certainly help to tease out or iron out those difficulties that you may have been discussing with your significant other. On a different level, with Venus being in your 7th house, business deals can go well at this time. On the 12th of January, we will see a new moon in Aquarius in your 7th house, and this will be at 23 degrees. So with this new moons always indicate new beginnings in some way, shape, or form. Generally speaking, we do see the culmination of this new beginning take place about 6 months later at the full moon in Aquarius, or even 18 months, which will be the full moon in Aquarius in 2022. Having said that, because there's so many planets in your 7th house, you may see this new beginning take place a lot sooner. So given that this is in the relationship sector, you can have a new relationship begin. Maybe you're taking your existing relationship to the next level, whether that is moving in together, getting engaged, getting married within that time period, which I mentioned, or some of you may be forming a new business relationship, or a very important client relationship can occur. Now, on the 18th of February, we will see the biggest astrological event occur for the entirety of 2021, and that is Saturn squaring Uranus. Saturn will be in Aquarius, Uranus will be in Taurus, and this transit will actually occur 3 times during 2021. The first is on the 18th of February, the second time will be on the 15th of June, and the third time will be on Christmas Eve on the 24th of December. Now, with Saturn being in your 7th house of relationships, it's actually there with Jupiter in Aquarius, Venus and Mercury and the Sun will all be in Aquarius on this particular date, and this will be squaring Mars and Uranus, which are both in Taurus. Okay, but the exact square is between Saturn and Uranus at 7 degrees. Now, this plays out as huge changes occurring in both your relationships and in your career sector, or at the very least, your public reputation and your public visibility. So a square is a 90-degree aspect, okay, between these two planets, which causes tension and friction. But this will, no matter how it plays out, this will be something which improves your relationships and improves your career, and it will certainly further align you with the correct path for your career and your responsibilities and duties as a whole. So some ways that this can specifically play out for Leo, Sun, Moon, and Risings is that pressure on your career can actually cause an existing relationship to either deteriorate or to basically meld into something which is in alignment with your partnership with this person. Now, that sounds a bit vague, but let me break that down even further. Some of you may have to make a choice between your career and between your relationship. Now, you may choose to focus on your career, whether that's accepting a dream job which takes you away from your significant other or from your spouse, or you could even be taking on a job which is interstate or in another country, or one that has you moving around the country that you live in or around the globe. Okay, so we see that this improvement in your career has a huge impact on your relationship but obviously that's advancing your career. Now, this can certainly work out on the flip side, okay? You could be focusing more attention on your significant other or on your spouse, and this could actually cause you to let go of a certain job which you are involved in, which had way too many responsibilities and obligations, and you're like, no, I need to prioritize this relationship because it's at breaking point, or maybe I'm gonna lose my partner if I don't make them number one and make this relationship number one. Now, on a different level, your partner could actually be pushing you and pressuring you into raising your hand for a promotion or for making a huge change in your career, whether that is pushing you to take on more responsibilities at work or to actually leave your job and go it alone, okay? Some of you could be working for yourself, and this might not be something that you are naturally inclined to go and grab with both hands, and that's why you have your partner supporting you, saying, go and do it, you know, it's your time to shine, go on, get out there. They could actually be pressuring you because it's going to add you know, more stability to your financial to the financial side of your relationship, okay? There's something uncomfortable about this particular transit. Now, on a completely different level, your partner could be egging you on to finally retire. Maybe this is something which has been in the works for ages, and you're like, no, I've got to work harder, and they just put their foot down and they're like, enough is enough. You're retiring, we're starting our life together. Now, on a completely different level, you and your business partner could actually enter a romantic relationship, or it could even be you and someone who's in a position of authority above you, okay? Because the 7th house rules relationships, the 10th house rules anyone who is a boss or in a position of significant authority over you. Now, lastly, a different way that this can play out is that you and your significant other, or you and your spouse, could actually go into business partnership or a business relationship or contract together. And obviously, you know, this could be something which is a huge whirlwind. You could feel as though this has come out of the blue. Whatever this Saturn in Uranus transit will bring, it will feel quite unsteadying, and there will be something shocking about it. It'll come out of left field, and you might have to make a snap decision, and that could be in relation to any of the aforementioned things which I've just mentioned. Now, also on the 18th of February, we will see Pisces season commencing once the sun enters Pisces. So this will be lighting up your 8th house, which is concerned with your mutual resources. It also relates to any kind of deep research that you're doing, or even psychological introspection. So your mutual resources could become the focal point in your relationship. You could be delving into anything in relation to self-growth, whether that's seeing a psychologist or a psychiatrist. It could even be getting services from a tarot reader or an astrologer or a Reiki master. Or some of you could actually just be suddenly discovering the ways in which your fears have been holding you back. And lastly, with the sun being in Pisces for 4 weeks from the 18th of February, there can be an intense focus on intimacy with your partner. Now, on the 21st of February, Mercury will be direct, okay? So Mercury retrograde season will finally conclude, but just bear in mind that there is a 2-week post retrograde shadow period, okay? So the way that this end to Mercury retrograde can affect you is that you now have a totally different mentality towards your relationship, all right? And that's relationships with your business partnership, your close one-on-one friends, and certainly your significant other or your spouse. Now, another way that this can affect you is the disagreements that you may have had with those aforementioned individuals could finally settle down, and those important documents that I said you might be anticipating with regard to an ex-spouse, okay, ex-marriage partner, or anything to do with court cases with this spouse, an ex-business partnership, or even an ex-client of yours, you can finally receive this documentation. I would say just give it until the end of the first week of March, just for it to be safe with the retrograde period being over. Now, on the 26th of February, Venus will enter Pisces, and this is once again in your 8th house. So you can experience way more intimacy with your significant other. You can feel really supported by them on a very deep and emotional level. Your partner could actually see a bit of an increase in their salary, and this in turn will increase your mutual resources. You could also have a reading with a tarot reader or an astrologer, and you receive a really healing and beneficial impact as a result of that service. Now, lastly, on the 27th of February, there will be a full moon in Virgo at 8 degrees, and this is in your 2nd house, which is concerned with your financial income, all right? So you can actually see a boost to your own financial income. So this could be an increase in pay, and this might actually be in connection to or as a result of something which you initiated either 6 months ago or 18 months ago, when we had either our most recent new moon in Virgo or the new moon in Virgo, which occurred last year. Now, the year before, okay? So the new moon in Virgo, which was either 6 months ago, or the new moon in Virgo, which was either 18 months ago. Just look at what you were doing at that time. You might have initiated like a little project, or you could have done something artistic and now you're receiving money from that. In any case, it's good news for your pay. On a totally different level, you might actually let go of a stream of income, but this is just making way for something new to enter your life. Now, lastly, the full moon in Virgo could see you releasing an emotional attachment that you have to a traditional family value. It could have been something that your parents or that your culture has always instilled in you, and maybe this was holding you back in some way, shape, or form. And finally, you're realizing that, you know, traditions are amazing, but they don't always need to be honored. And you can go out and do something which is honoring your self-expression, okay? You don't always need to pander to the traditions of your family. Well, Leo, that's all I have for you for the month of February 2021. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content from me, please subscribe to K-Astrology. Enjoy your month, Leos, and I will see you guys in March 2021.